You were getting ready to fly out of the tavern room into the night sky, and you heard a scream. There was sounded like a woman's scream, and a voice that drifted across that you heard over. And other than that, I described a blood red moon, and that's pretty much it. The party was, of course, going to go warn or talk with Blackjack out on the boat, if I recall.
Adlon and I are out the window, heading that way. Everybody else is going to stay put unless they choose to do something.
Okay.
Okay. So hearing that voice that I recognized, I'm going to make sure that's who I thought it was. I'm just going to swoop down to where I think the voices came from.
Okay. Real quick before we continue, since Alabaster is absent this session, who believes that they can accurately portray and control him?
Michael does a pretty good adolescent boy.
Ah, I figure since he's your best friend, Reagan and Alabaster are besties.
Are we though?
It's like the love-hate relationship.
Anyways, if you guys just want to keep him in mind, I may forget about him somewhat because I'm busy with other things. So don't
Yeah,
forget that he's around.
I don't know how to play him at all either. Is it
Yeah,
close range you get now? I forget.
yeah. So, anyways, the two of you, Eidolon and Ulver, in your bird forms, fly down to investigate where the scream may have come from. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Okay. Oh, as an owl.
Yep,
One
as an
second, I'm gonna
owl.
pull that up.
It's the out bonus for perception.
Well, it's not bad if I remember right.
No, it's
Yeah,
good.
shit.
My vision is good.
Can you guys
And
believe
hold on.
it's the 23rd episode that I have actually streamed and recorded?
Nice.
One.
Okay. I guess I don't see anything.
So,
One second.
so I
Coming
mean,
there.
you're not used to being in this form, and you're so busy trying to, just figure out flying that you just have no idea where this sound may have come from.
Oh,
Two nat
Man,
ones, nice.
we're
awesome.
And you're doing the whole trying to teach your friend how to fly thing at the time that
Right.
this happens. Kind of like the Disney movie Sword in the Stone when they become birds. And so you're so busy trying to teach him that you hear it and you look around, but you don't have any idea where this has come from.
Okay. All right. Then I guess we're gonna continue on and come on, get, fly, flap. All right. So we're
Ooh.
going. And I'm saying that to him telepathically. Not that he can really understand me, but you know.
What type
All right.
of owl is he?
He's a regular owl,
Like a barn owl or what?
something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious what kind of critters he might be, distracted by.
They're
Little
smart.
mice.
So, like mice and rats. Got it. Okay. Maybe small cats. Okay, so you guys fly over towards the dock, arriving at the ship.
Yep. And so we'll come down and
You do.
I'll just kind of swoop around and see if there's anybody there.
You see that there's a couple of guards posted at the end of the dock to the ship. That one of them seems to be watching the ship, and the other one seems to be watching the dock area, which is completely vacant of people. This is the only ship here as well. All the other ships seem to be out. There are some lamps and stuff on the ship, but nobody is about at the moment.
Are these guards from the ship or are they city guards?
They are city guards.
Okay. So we will look for a possible porthole, go through, and try to find a way up.
Okay. Well, you do know where the captain's cabin is, so
Yep. So is there a way to get in?
yeah, he has a couple of windows in the back of the ship. So
Big enough for us or not?
yeah, they're big enough for you.
All right.
So and they're open, for night air. So
Sure. I mean, absolutely fresh air. So we'll go in there.
just when you get to the window, you can see Blackjack is sitting at the desk, seems to be writing something.
Okay. I will telepathically excuse me, tell him, don't be alarmed. I'm an L. I'm coming in. This is Oliver from earlier today. And I've got a friend with me that needs to see you.
He stops writing. You see his ears twitch, and kind of rotate back towards the window. But other than that, he doesn't react.
Okay. I'll hop down and then drop my wild shape. And as soon as Eidolon is in, I will drop concentration on the spell.
So Eidolon resumes shape as well.
Yep.
So you fly in the window, and poof into your normal forms. Jack just turns casually and looks at you.
Even
Well, it is interesting that you arrive at this time. Yes.
that right? What's going on? I see some guards outside watching both the docks and the ship. Are you alone here?
I am not alone. My crew is. Well, some of my crew is still aboard ship, and some is on land. Unfortunately, my ship has been impounded for the time being.
Really?
Some confusion. There's an accusation that I murdered someone, which is really odd because I have not left my ship.
Who did they say you murdered?
Some woman or other.
When was this supposed to have been?
It was earlier in the night, and they gathered up my crew, which was in town on leave, and have placed them under custody as well. I'm not sure what's going on. I heard that the woman was brutally murdered, though eviscerated, they said.
Jeez.
Well, it's interesting.
Rumors have reached me that this has happened before. I'm not sure how I could have done it not being here, but My name is Jack, and apparently there is some rumor or other of a Jack that has been apparently doing something in town. I don't know. Not much news has reached me, just the accusation, and they're
Yeah, I saw
investigating.
that Jack is supposed to be One-Eyed Jack.
I know, right? I have both eyes. He points at his eyes. But he's also supposed to be tall and covered in fur. And I believe that they thought he was, a tabaxi. It's kind of racist, honestly.
Well, suppose it's good news to see you that you're awake and you're all right. I was worried about you earlier from today's conversation.
Well, my crew I'm not allowing outside because I'm afraid that the gods will, toss them in irons. So we are just staying in ship, and some of us are staying awake in shifts. It currently is my shift. My bosun will take over for me in a few hours.
Where are my manners? This is Eidolon. This is one of my party members. And I brought him because I feared that there was something seriously wrong with the way that you reacted after our conversation, where you forgot what we were talking about and got a headache, had to lie down. Very strange. I wanted
I'm
to check in on
sorry,
you.
I do not know what you are speaking of. I do not remember this conversation.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. Um, I came here in a conversation concerning Morn Firebrand. Remember him?
Yes, I do remember transporting him and his companion to the south.
Do you recall the conversation we had about him already?
I believe so, yes.
It was also when we were talking about his companion.
I remember that he had a companion, yes.
Yes, that's the companion that Alabaster knew
I,
as well.
I'm not sure how this Alabaster could know this companion. I don't remember anything about them. I'm sorry.
That's all right. You gave us all the information we needed out of that. At least I hope so.
If you say so.
Orlon, this here
Yeah.
is Captain Jack Black.
No, it is Black Jack.
I get it mixed up.
I am not sure why people keep calling me this. It is most disturbing.
It's the syntax thing from where I'm from. We put the descriptive part after the actual name. It's just a thing.
Well, I would appreciate it if you would refer to me by my given name. Just Jack will suffice since we know each other.
I will do my best. But this here is
Oh.
Alabaster. Oh no, Oilon.
You getting your names all mixed up.
I am messed up.
It's nice to meet you, Captain.
It is nice to meet you as well, sir. What can I do for you?
Uh, well, so Oliver, should I try to see if he's affected by anything, or should I just try to dispel?
Oh, I think you
mean-
might want to ask him first.
So how are you feeling, Mr. Captain?
To be honest, I am a little bit worried about what will happen. It seems
Yeah.
like the populace has decided to use me and my shipmates as a scapegoat for whatever is going on in town.
Yeah, we were all pretty upset that we couldn't leave.
You
They
did,
kind of closed the gates and everything, and we're on lockdown.
that is interesting. Perhaps what is going on is more serious than I thought. We may have to flee.
Might be, but bit of business here that I think I need to take a look into first.
Right. I am still working on trying to locate Alabaster's request, but of course it's very difficult given what's going on. I have been able to send out messages, however.
I'm
Maybe
sure he'll be anxious to get that as soon as possible, and we can all get out of here.
Where are you staying? Should the need to flee the port, you know, actually become a reality, I could send you a message. Perhaps you could leave with us. It
We're
might
at the
might be the safest way to, escape the situation here.
right at an
we're at
inn
the inn
tavern.
at the tavern. Yeah,
Um, one moment. I'm thinking hard about the name of that.
at at, at the Cutlass, right?
Right, the Cutlass. That's it.
Um, but yeah, we should probably look into maybe trying to clear our names too. Maybe if we can find this mystery woman killer or killer that's a woman, maybe that would help our case. Did you say that you knew her or you thought you knew her, Oliver?
Well, I haven't said a thing to you yet.
Okay.
You are an owl. You couldn't understand me anyway. Good as time as any. I think I recognize the voice of the one, not not the one that screamed, but the other one. I don't know how it could be. They are supposed to be clear back home in the Trundlewood, way away from here.
Chondlewood.
That's where I'm from.
Oh wow.
If you don't pay attention to my stories,
Well, this is the first time I'm hearing of it.
every night I talk about it.
Well,
No, I don't. Uh, um, yeah. So if that's her, I don't know what's going on. I don't understand why she's here. If that really was here, that's why I swooped down when we left the Cutlass. I wanted to see who that was. But regardless, whoever it is that's causing these murders, obviously we need to figure it out just so Blackjack can get out of here.
yeah.
It'd be mighty hard to get out of here without his crew as well.
Actually, there's enough crew left aboard that we could, you know, sail away. The crew that went into town is more of the how can I say this? They're more the expendable types. My main crew members stayed aboard since there were strange undergoings to, you know, keep the ships secure. It is only the common deckhands and such that are currently in town. We could sail at a moment's notice.
Anything preventing you from getting out to sea?
Well, yes, they do have cannons. I've heard magical cannons lining the seawall out there. I've never actually seen them though, so I'm not sure if they actually exist. And of course, they have their own standing navy of a sort. It's not very big, but they could conceivably send a ship after us. It is extremely unlikely that they could catch us, however. The Queen of Spades is one of the fastest ships on the ocean.
We'll keep that in mind. We'll do what we can here while there's still things that need to be sussed out. And then once we've done that, then we'll come back and it's going to be difficult for us because our entire group has been sequestered. We're not even supposed to be here, but as you can see, I have a knack for sneaking out.
Now, it's a good thing for you. I am not overly worried at this time, but should things, become worse, I will, of course, try to escape. It would be the hangman's noose or worse should they decide that it was my fault that these women have been being killed. And
You know,
I'm not really looking to have my neck stretched.
there was a woman scream today. That's what drew my attention when we were coming here in the first place. Might be a good idea to show yourself to the gods. Let them know that you're still here, if they haven't seen you yet.
Are you saying there was another murder?
Sounded like it. We never did find where it was at, but it sounded just like it. Just as a precaution, I think you should at least let your face be seen.
All right, that sounds like a decent idea. I
We'll
can
stay
do
here while you
that.
do that,
I
or sooner than later would be best.
I will have to signal my bosun. I do not feel safe out there alone, unless you would be willing to go out with me, or you mentioned that you do obviously have some kind of magic ability. Do you have any warding ability, something that might help ensure my safety while I'm out there? I mean, a stray crossbow bolt.
Right. See what I have here. How about you, Eidolon? You got all the big spells.
Nothing. I mean, unless we were there with you.
I wonder if we'd be recognized as well. We were recognized at the gates.
That might not be the best idea. If you were seen aboard ship when
Right.
the gods knew you to be somewhere else, that would seem suspicious at best for both of us.
Right.
I could give you some mage armor. If that will help you a little bit.
Well, anything might help. Let me signal my bosun. He reaches over and pulls a pull rope, and you hear a distant bell ring somewhere else in the ship. A little bit later, there's a stomping that you hear coming from the deck, and then the door swings open somewhat violently, and the bosun comes inside, who is the big minotaur.
I'll nod towards him.
He comes in, sees the two of you, and immediately goes for his giant sword.
Hands up.
Jack says, "No, they're fine. They're fine. Come on inside. Close the door." Oh gosh.
Be wide-eyed. I'm assuming I'm having to stare up at him. Never seen a minotaur before.
The minotaur snorts again and looks over the two of you and then says in common, "I am Regorex, known as the Tower."
I can definitely see why. Nice to meet you.
He's,
My name is Olva.
he just snorts somewhat derisively. And
I'm Eidolon,
looks at
and this is Tanuki.
Eidolon, then looks around Eidolon for another thing, looks around the room, looks back at Eidolon, and then looks at you, Ulver, and goes,
I shrug.
"Is your companion Is he right in the head or is he left in the head? Because I only see two of you.
He's rightly left in his head.
That makes sense to me. Right, Captain. What can I do for you? Well, I suppose we're gonna have to go outside, Ragnarex. These individuals think it might be a good idea for the gods to see us here instead of out murdering people. And Jack gets up, heads over to the door.
Wait. Before you go out there, remember those stray arrows you're worried about quite along? Would you mind
Oh,
giving
yeah.
him a little bit of protection?
Oh,
Oh,
I thought he already did it.
okay. Yeah. I cast
you
Mage
did?
Armor, just in case it's unclear.
Okay.
So for 8 hours.
All right,
Help
so
him
you
out.
cast a spell on him, and him and the bosun will walk outside next to the rail, show themselves clearly to the guards for a few moments, and then come back inside. Right, that's it, Ragnarex. You can go back to bed. I will stay up for a few more hours. The bosun nods and tromps outside. He's hard to miss. He's heavy and he makes a lot of noise when he walks. It recedes into the distance, though.
Right. With that business taken care of, there was some concern that there was some sort of a spell on you that prevents you from remembering things or forgetting about them when you have talked about them. And that's partially why I brought my friend here, is to see if there's something that's going on and maybe help you.
Oh, well, that would be most concerning, yes. I'm not sure when that might have happened, or how, for that matter. I am not schooled in the ways of magic.
I don't know if there's any way to tell how long ago, but it could have been as long as 2 years ago, considering the individual we were talking about, or maybe a year ago, actually.
What individual were we talking about?
This would have been Morn Firebrand's companion.
Oh,
Oh, I don't want to even mention the name just in case.
yeah, we were talking about that just a minute ago. I told you I don't
Right.
know anything about them. I just remember there was someone with him. Nothing more.
Nothing more. All right. Which is a whole lot less than what you told me. So that's why I think it's very concerning and something that we should at least try to do something about.
It's a little
Yeah.
concerning that you remember something different than me. I don't remember telling you anything about them, so.
While they're having this conversation, I'll start ritual casting detect magic to see if I can see anything on him.
Oh, what is he doing?
He's
I'm just gonna
why
take a
long
look.
why don't you tell? Yeah. Looking
I'm
to the
just
light.
trying to detect the see if there's any magic spells on you. But it takes me a couple minutes to cast it, so you guys can go on. Don't mind me.
Part of what you had talked about was the ability that this individual had to create wind for your ship when there was no wind at all, and allowed you to continue sailing for quite some time.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Sorry.
Okay.
I remember being
And then,
becalmed for a time, and then the winds picked up, and we moved on. I don't remember anything about anybody making wind, unless, of course, you mean farting.
very well could be, but I think this might have been a mighty lot in order to do that.
Indeed, perhaps it was the bosun. Ah,
You guys, I'm trying to concentrate.
Oh, sorry. I put my finger over my lips and kind of roll my eyes.
all right. Well, so let's just go ahead and say you cast a spell, detect magic, And you detect abjuration on Blackjack.
Oh wow. Yeah, there's definitely something on you. Some sort of abjuration spell.
Abjuration, what does that do?
That is a spell that
As he looks
is
up the school.
known
I love you. It's so funny.
as
Hey, I have to do this
And
crap
Olver
too,
doesn't
man.
know. I know Olver doesn't know any of this stuff. Everything for him is innate. So
it's oh wait, it could just be my mage armor. But yeah, it's like a warding spell.
you do something about it then.
I can dispel it.
See what happens.
All right, I'll cast dispel magic, if you don't mind, Captain.
Well, if there's
I'll try
something,
to dispel this magic.
which magic are you dispelling? I didn't you put a spell on me
I
to
mean,
protect
I
me?
did I did, sir, but yeah, that could just end up being dispelling the mage armor. Um, I guess
Well,
it'd be good to know. It'd be good to know in case there's nothing else on you infecting your mind.
I suppose
And then,
so. Is there any chance that you could, cast the protection spell on me again afterwards?
yeah, that's no problem.
Very well then. Proceed.
All right, I'll cast it at 3rd level. Dispel magic.
All right. So you're that'll automatically kill your protection spell.
Yeah,
So you see the magic aura fade. Gone. No aura around Blackjack.
and then I don't notice any other
No,
lingering magics on him. All
nope.
right. Okay. Looks like you're all dispelled and you don't have magic on you, so I'll go ahead and recast the mage armor to protect you. Which I will do.
All right.
I wonder what it could be that would cause you
Alright.
to forget everything.
Well, it's not magical. It could be maybe something he ate, or I don't know.
Or it's just not currently affecting him. Detect magic only shows spells that are currently affecting in some way, shape, or form.
Gotcha.
Well, if that's it, I guess. Did you put detect magic back on him? I mean mage armor
Yeah,
back on him.
yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Well, if that's it, I have some more notes that I need to write here. Thank you for visiting and checking for spells on me, but it seems that I'm fine, right? So,
Hey,
Nothing that I can tell.
Quinlon,
Yo.
maybe you should ask it something about old Ben.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's not here, we don't know if he's here or not, but maybe the captain would know. He knew things that I didn't think he was going to know. So-
what was that? Oh, Ben.
Yeah. I've been traveling with my companions here, and I've been looking for my old master. His name was people called him Old Ben.
Well,
but he was named Umbin the gnome.
Ben, it does sound familiar. Could you describe him for me, perhaps?
He was a gnome wizard.
Gnome, you
I just,
say?
yeah.
Well, there was a gnome that I transported prior to, transporting the other individual that Ulver is seeking. I believe it was, or maybe it was after. I forget. It's strange. I normally have such a keen memory. But, in any case, do remember transporting a gnome. The name sounds familiar. I suspect it was the same.
Very interesting captain, Seem to be transporting people that a lot of us will know, and very coincidental.
I'm not sure. I'm in a rather specialized type of business, you understand.
Sure.
People,
That's why I
You
thought
wouldn't
maybe
happen,
if
Go ahead.
you
people,
wouldn't happen to remember where you transported him to.
yes, I dropped him off at the port of Kalamshan.
Oh, jeez. Here, could you type that in chat?
Well, it's the port
Colin,
clear down at
Colin John?
Kalamshan. I believe this is the right spelling without looking it
Oh,
up.
okay. Colin, okay, okay.
It's my fake accent for Jack messing it up.
Perfect. Well, thank you. It's been a long time since I've heard anything on him, and you're my latest uh, clue or lead to him. So I appreciate it. Thank
Well,
you.
I can tell you this as well. I do remember the gnome when he came aboard, and he left two individuals behind, a man and a woman. The woman was actually quite imposing. The man was a skinny thing, looked like he'd spent too much time in a library, if you know what I mean.
Ugh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Anyways, I remember them saying something about going back to was it a was a hall of some sort. But I more recently saw them again.
Here,
Hall.
Mithril Hall.
Yes, that was it. They were headed to Mithril Hall.
Yeah, we sort of ran into them on the way from there. Here
Well,
again. Are they here now?
I saw them. I saw them the last time I was in port, which was only a few weeks ago. They could be still here, I don't know. They approached me for passage, but uh, the man was rather derogatory towards me and my species, and so I refused them passage.
Good for you.
Yeah, screw those guys.
I do not know.
But thank you for that. I will keep that. I'll keep an eye out for them if I see them.
Well, they were looking for passage south to Kalamshan themselves, so and they wanted to do so without the proper papers, which means that there was a limited number of people that could do that. Myself being one, of course.
How often do these other proprietors come around these ports?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you mean. What proprietors are you referring to?
You and other captains that can
Well,
transport papers.
I'm not sure about the others. I do know of a couple, of course. But unfortunately, we're in competition, so we do not communicate that much.
Fair enough.
It's dog-eat-dog world out there, you might say.
Well, Eidolon.
That's very useful information. Thank you. If you ever need anything, a favor, just let us know.
Be back again. Definitely be back here. Probably tomorrow
Yeah,
night.
yeah, we should go meet up with our crew and let them know, and then we should talk about coming back.
If we can. We are being
Yeah.
held against our will to meet with the Red Mages.
Oh,
Something about them I do not trust.
the red mages, you said.
Yeah.
I was not aware that they were here. That is somewhat ominous.
I mean, that's what they call it in that tower, aren't they?
Well, the red mages, generally speaking, I'm not sure if this is actually the truth, but I have read a few books, on the ocean you have time. And I remember reading something in a history book about some red mages. And if it's the same, that seems like a very bad thing. Here, I think I have the volume here. He gets up and goes over to a
Appreciate
bookcase.
Appreciate it.
Yes, here we go. It's a history, and I believe it's in the center section on a place known as Thay.
Faye.
Thay, yes.
What? I will read into that as fast as possible, especially since tomorrow we're meeting with these mages.
Yeah, this book would be real useful too for the tower. Tower needs more books.
Well, I mean, do you need this back? Do you want it back?
No, I have read the entire thing a couple of times. I was actually thinking of picking up a few new volumes here in town, but I may have to wait until I hit another port.
Yeah, that might be best. At least the way things stand now. Alright, well, we probably should get back. We'll report back to the rest of the group and we'll be in touch as soon as possible.
Right,
Hopefully,
and I will
things don't go
send
south for us, too.
I will send a message to this to the Cutlass should we need to depart before then, if at all possible, just so that you have the chance to escape if we choose to make a run for it.
Much appreciated. We'll,
Well, I owe
fire.
Alabaster's family quite a lot, actually, so it is in his favor that I do this. I assume that he would be coming with you.
absolutely.
Send him my
Better pry into that
regards.
backstory.
I will do that.
Uh,
Alright, Eidolon, you ready for another night fight?
Okay.
Alright, this time, flap harder. So bad at this.
Alright, keep on flapping. Gotcha.
Right, and keep your tail feathers, they help you steer. Alright,
Gotcha.
here we go, here we go.
Yeah, I'm totally seeing that sword in the stone scene.
Alright, I am casting polymorph on him, and wild shape, and off we go.
All right.
And I'll telepathically say goodbye.
All right. So the rest of you are waiting in the inn this entire time, other than the room service and everything. Is there anything else going on there?
I want to see what was up with the girl that was crying.
Okay, so you head downstairs to check that out.
Yep.
All right. You get downstairs and you find that she has been up by herself and actually made all your food herself. It seems because you find her with the kitchen door propped open, working in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's a loud cat.
Momo, shut up. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just I was like, wow, it's a loud meow.
He's annoying. But, I've had him for, 9 years? So, yeah.
So, I guess I'll just kind of pop my head in the door. It's like, you all right? Seem kind of upset.
She sniffles a little bit and wipes at her face and says, "Oh, it's nothing. Don't bother. It's fine."
Well, I mean, we've kind of been dealing with a killer around. Is it anything to do with that?
Oh my, no, it's not to do with that.
Oh, okay. Um, Thanks for the room service. And I'll leave her a platinum.
And she
I'll head back
turns and looks at the platinum and then rushes over and grabs it and calls out behind you as you're leaving. Thank you. You have no idea how much this will help.
Yeah, no problem. Hmm. All right, I was kind of hoping that was about the ghost killer, but all right, I'll head back up to Reagan. But better not be eating any of my food. I ordered it. You said he didn't want
It's
anything.
all gone. No, I don't know. Did he eat it?
You didn't light any more curtains on fire, did you?
Elder's blessing.
You light one set of curtains on fire or someone's head.
Well, I mean, that's all I really wanted to check on was if she had information on
No,
the
no.
killer person.
She has given you a negatory response. Okay, so after time passes, the other two come back.
Actually, I wanted to head over to Zephyros and let him know what's going on too.
Oh, okay.
So I'd have Eidolon follow along, and I won't drop Wild Shape because it's my last one, but I will telepathically talk to him, tell him what's happening,
So you
and give him the rundown.
head back over to the tower. Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Okay. You head back over to the where the tower was. It's not there.
Woo. Woohoo, woohoo, woohoo. All right. Guess we'll head back. And I'll do a quick swing around the city real fast.
There's lots of lights and stuff from here and there, and there's actually quite a few dark areas of the city too that you see where they don't keep the streets very well lit.
We see anything?
You're
Yeah.
are you looking?
Notification
If
flash.
Go ahead and roll perception.
Yeah, I'll be looking for stuff because I mean, bad things are
Okay.
happening.
Can I give them advantage or assist?
Sure,
You can look as well, actually.
that'll give
I don't
him.
know how you can. I don't know how you assist.
You can
no
choose to
look-
roll separately or one person with
I
advantage.
feel
Your
like
choice.
I feel like a double roll would be better than two singles.
All right, I'll go ahead and.
You don't know the dice very well, do you?
Yeah, they hate us. They hate us so much. Oh wait,
Wow. Jeez. Holy cow.
Riken.
Oh.
Get him out.
He's getting those bad rolls. I don't think he has yet. I don't think he's done. He ended on a 2. Probably better keep going.
Not bad. My first roll was really good.
17. So, yeah. So as you're flying around, you notice that there's actually a contingent of torches, like a group of torches over one area. Looks like a bunch of people standing together down a somewhat near a congruence of small streets.
I'll peek at that and see what's going on.
You see there's a bunch of guards, it looks like, standing around and it seem to be examining what appears to be a dead body.
How close is the cutlass to us?
It's pretty close here, yeah.
So this could have been the scream that we heard.
Could have been.
Could have been. Right. Anything else that I would notice?
A lot of blood.
Okay. Like a lot, like
Yeah,
more than
like she was killed violently, and then it was purposefully spread.
Does it look like there's a pattern to it?
No,
Okay, just a mess.
just a mess. It was gruesome,
Okay,
or is gruesome.
think we'll head on back.
Okay. As you are flying back, you hear a second scream just as you get to the windowsill.
And I veer that way.
Well,
Freaking-
I mean, like,
oh.
as you're getting to literally landing at the windowsill,
Okay.
there's a
Okay,
second
that's
piercing
fine.
scream.
All right, I'll let Adelan go in because I'm not sure how long out. I want the spell to get lost on him in the the fall midair.
Freaking
And then-
Jack the Ripper out here. Jeez.
And so I'll drop the spell on him, and I'm just gonna go take a look.
Okay, so you drop the spell on him and go take a look.
Yep.
Roll perception.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
So you were paying attention after seeing the things that you saw, and this time you're able to beeline towards where you heard it. You fly how high?
Within the edge of 120 feet, so I can see the ground.
Okay.
Dark vision.
So you fly over. It looks like a kind of a dark area, like another actually intersection of streets again. And as you fly over, you see a dark shape bent over a still form. Its arms are almost windmilling, and you see dark, wet liquid flying in all directions. As whatever it is seems to be tearing the person apart.
Good.
How far are any guards from this area?
There are no torches of any moving people in the area.
I am going to perch where I can actually look at this individual.
Okay.
Find a spot that's kind of out of the way, but that I can still see.
Okay. The creature is almost this. It's just kind of a wispy shadow to you. It finishes what it's doing, stands up, turns around, kind of looks at you, up in your general direction, and you can see it has a single flaming eye and what appear to be sharp metallic claws. After looking around a bit more, it turns and walks into the shadows and vanishes.
It disappears.
Yep.
Awesome.
I'll send you a picture in the chat real quick
Okay.
of what you saw. Pretty sure I've got it here. No, don't do that. Do. Gotta do it the hard way so that the file name doesn't go with it. Like that, only one red glowing eye.
Okay. horns?
Yes.
And is that a tail? That's a tail or just a wisp?
Hard to say, isn't it?
Hard to say. Okay. I will head back to the rest of the group then.
You would have also seen that it seemed to exhale fire.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right. When I do, I'll take a swoop to see if it's another female, another woman.
It is another woman. Do you want to take
And
a
is
closer
this-
look?
Yeah.
All right, so you swoop down a little lower, and you can see that her stomach and intestines have been torn out and scattered in the area. And her face has burn marks on both cheeks from something. Like impressions. You'd have to actually go down and examine the body to see it well enough.
All right, let's do something stupid and go down where. Sure, why not? I will go down and examine.
All right.
Staying in elf form, but
All right. Make a whatever a medicine check would be for your owl.
this is gonna be. Actually, it is. +7 for an owl. 25.
Nice.
That is amazing.
How do you have a +7?
I don't know. It's in the stats.
That's
It's a
crazy.
+7 for an owl.
All right. So you look it over, and you quickly determine that there's actually organs missing
Okay.
that
like,
are not in evidence within the viscera.
Okay, such as.
The liver, in particular, is missing.
Okay.
And other than that, her face appears to have been burned by a red-hot poker.
Okay. Any specific design that I can tell? what it
Like
looks
your standard wood fireplace poker, only heated up and then pressed against her face.
All right. Looking around, is there anything else that I can see?
You look around a little more, and then you hear a whispering voice floats across the intersection.
Where
Says,
I'm at or further down?
where you're at. It's directionless. You don't know where it's coming from. It could be even in your mind.
Uh-huh.
It just says, "Hush, now, adventurer. Don't say a word." That's it.
My head is doing the 360 turn for the owl.
Okay.
And off I go.
All right. So you bamf out of there. All right.
Creeped out. Time to go.
All right. So you head back to the group.
I do.
All right. Correct. Johnny. Or Zed. Riken. Yeah. You can speak up. You can say it in the chat too, just so you know you don't have to type it to me.
Oh shit. What was it?
Buffy the.
I'll let him tell you.
Oh,
I forgot I was muted. That was Enter Sandman, Metallica.
It was the very beginning of the song. It's a reference to it, not the exact
I'll
words.
see. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
I will give you what you get for that. Yep, keep an eye out for those references, guys. Oh, wow, that pasted weird. Can you read that?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes when I copy from OneNote, it copies weird. All right. One reference down. All right.
Nice.
So Ulver shows back up. The rest of you were probably wondering where he went.
As of now, my eyes are really wide, but that's normal. I drop form, and my eyes are still really wide.
Dinner plates.
Hey guys, bad things. There was another murder, 2 tonight. The Eidolon probably filled you in on the first one.
Mhm.
Right? All right.
Yeah, that's what we were doing.
Um, I just left when I heard the scream, and I went to take a look at it, and um, I saw the killer, and it's freaky. It's like almost smoky, ghostly, glowing red eye. It breathes fire. It just like earlier in the day, this individual vanished into thin air as well. Same way. It was just tore into this woman, and looked like it took her liver. But there's like blood and gore everywhere. It is horrible. It's the same. Looks the same as what happened earlier when Nodalon and I left. Oh, and I don't know if it was in my head or they were nearby, but they told me to not say anything. They knew it was me, and they called me an adventurer. They knew I wasn't an owl, and I never dropped my phone. Whatever this thing is, it is nasty.
Why are you trying to get us tied up in it?
Well, we have Captain Blackjack on the Queen of Spades that is offering us passage, but he's being blamed for these murders. So,
Literally have a flying tower.
yeah, no, not so much. Uh, we went looking for that earlier before we came back, and it's gone.
Did you use your sending stone?
Well, I mean, I'm an owl, so no. Orlon, did you try it?
No.
Oh, oh my gosh, aren't you supposed to be like the two smartest people in the group? Call him.
I'm gonna take out. So since Riken's not gonna do it, I will take out the sending stone, and I will reach out to Zephyros. Zephyros, we're out there. I saw that the tower's gone, and you're nowhere to be found. What's going on?
Oh,
We're being contained, and we're not allowed to leave the city right.
oh, yes. I had to leave really quick, like so. Sorry about that.
Ben, can we talk back and forth, or is it just a single?
Well, let's just say
I
you
don't
can
know.
talk back and forth.
Okay.
It's easier.
Telephone. Telephone. All right. What happened? We got somehow we got I don't know. There's murders that are going on here, and we found some leads to some of our personal endeavors, and these mages here in town are keeping us in town because they don't want us to leave because they question us about the murders that we've already talked about, and I think there's other things going on. What happened with you?
Well, there was an attempt on the tower by I assume someone in town, perhaps the Mage Tower itself. I moved the tower away so that the there was at least less of a threat.
How far out of town and about where are you at?
About
We need
50
to.
miles different distance right now. Yes.
50 more. Okay, that's jaunt. All right. Okay. Well, we'll let you know what's going on over here. We'll keep in contact, and there's a ship here that looks like they're in a bit of a, and it's sort of a common connection among a few of us here that we may have to leave on for a bit too. We'll see where things land here after.
Well, stay safe. I'll keep things under control here. I want you to know that I will. I remember to recharge the orbs, so they're topped up.
Good. Thank goodness. We will contact you again. You did that today, or
Yes, earlier
all
today.
right? All right. We will keep contact with you as well. Make sure that you won't forget.
All right. Well, I'm still working on something here. If you need me, let me know.
Will do, and we appreciate it.
All right. Farewell. I've been feeling a lot better. Thank you again.
That's good to hear. We'll keep checking on you, just in case.
Well, the tower's here, but I'm afraid I don't dare get closer to the town. So if you need picked up, you might have to come to me. But we can work on that later. Be very careful. Luskin apparently is very dangerous right now.
You don't have to tell me that. All right. Get some rest. We'll try to do the same. All right. I'll put the sending stone away, and I'll tell everybody what we just talked about.
Yeah, this town is fucked. Why are we even here anyway?
Well, there are things that I mean, Alabaster. He probably told you all about it, right? Right, Alabaster? Told him about what we talked about the ship earlier today.
Um, yeah, Alabaster would have shared what you guys went over. We'll go ahead and say he did.
Okay.
That's what he gets for not being here.
Right.
I mean, it's not his, got those life things to do, but his fault.
I mean, while he's not here, hey, Alabaster, tell us your entire life story. All of your secrets.
But-
Anything you say is canon.
But yeah, he would be able to fill you in on the fact that his family knew Jack, or rather the captain of the ship before Jack.
And I doubt that he would have talked about my stuff, so I will begin.
Okay.
Do you all remember last week? Do I need to go into it, or should I go into that now?
I don't even remember what I had for breakfast this morning.
Okay. Here we go then. All right.
Hey, Oliver,
So,
where's your owl?
What's that?
Where's your owl?
My owl is nearby. Has been nearby, other than going to investigate that screech. Has been, yeah, and is in the in the room with us right now.
Okay.
Right now, there's no real safe up there. Okay, so by the way, Ben, secrets I kept that weren't just my own, just for the purpose of this, to say that we cleared it up and we're in agreement.
On
Understand
what?
I'm saying? For the secret that is not my own, that I've been keeping for some
Oh.
time. Okay. So, I'll let that
Okay.
out. Okay, so, I haven't really spoken a lot about my past. I haven't really offered a whole lot. A lot of that's because things that I carry are not just mine to keep. So I'm very quiet. You probably have never noticed that. I mean, yeah, you guys all probably think you know everything about me. But yeah, no, not so much. I I've been searching for someone. Name is Morn Firebrand. He's not really from my home, but he visited the point, and he took not really something, but and not someone, lots of someone's, and I've been searching for him and those that he took, and it appears he came here, of all places. That's the reason why we even met was at the hotels. We all came for something, and that was my something to find Mon, bring him to justice, probably kill him, and then find those that he took. With me so far?
I'm sorry, I was distracted. What?
All right, Ryken. Were you? Did you not hear that?
No, I did.
Okay, okay. Like, man, I got to go through that again. All right, shut up, Ryken. Just listen. Um, so I've been searching, and for the longest time, uh, I've not trusted anyone with this secret at all because it was trusting someone, Morn, that I am the one who failed all those that he ended up taking. So I never wanted to be the cause of that again, and so I've kept that secret to myself for 2 years. But as things are now, and as close as we've come over the last several months, I think I trust you. And I'd like you to meet, I'm going to point over at my Al, Luma. She'll sit over. Oh, hold on.
Uh,
All right. This is my Al, and we've been partners for a long time. Just, my friend I found out in the woods, and I've been a really great friend. Telepathically, I'm going to tell everybody somebody might be here, or somebody may be listening. There's a presence, and I can't talk. I can't say anything right now. Ordelon, can you bring up that little dome of yours again?
Yeah, give me 10 minutes.
Okay. And so
10 minutes later.
okay, I'm not. I'll keep talking, but like about just random stuff, and stuff that shouldn't be too much of a secret.
and Luma flies down to your shoulder and bites your ear.
Ow.
And stares at you.
Okay. A lot going on right now. Yeah.
Do I hear anything that's like different?
No. You hear night noises from outside because you haven't closed the window yet, right? So there's some calls. You hear some tramping feet. People moving around at night, which isn't all that normal, really. It's usually pretty quiet at night here. Um, most cities you don't have that, but the inn itself is pretty quiet. Nothing really going on.
Peek outside just to see if there's like torches or anything. or anybody that's nearby. Just peeking.
You look outside and you can see what looks like a group of torch wielding guards headed in the direction of the dead body that you found not too long ago. And there's someone calling from that direction. You just hear this voice call out, real distant, because of the distance in the city streets, and it's not a direct line. But you hear, I found it, sus. Ooh, something bad. And that's it.
Sort out.
I don't know who that is. If that's a person, Riken.
I was just saying you sound like Mr. Meeseeks.
I'm not sure who that is. So, um, anyways, what are you guys going to do now?
So is the dome up?
Um, sure. 10 minutes passed. Get the dome up.
Okay. Hold on. Sorry.
So once the dome's up, what was your secret?
1 second. Hold on. I have to think about this.
Calling it right now. The guy that told Ulver not to say shit is an authority figure. And we can't use what he said with the authorities because he didn't report it right away.
Right. Um, Sorry about that. I bit of a on monologue there. Um, so now that we're all here safe in this protective dome thing, and thank you, Arlon, for that. There are things that there's a secret I've been keeping, and in order for me to give it to you, you have to promise to keep it as diligently as I have in the past. If you agree to that, then I will tell you, but not before that.
I mean, we're all pretty good at keeping secrets.
Are we though?
Are we?
And do.
What was that?
And do.
I don't know. Alabaster's kind of shady.
That may be
True.
true.
I mean, if you're not Alabaster, just say something now.
Hmm.
Canon.
Kinda shady that you didn't answer.
I know we're not here for Tanuki either.
No,
Don't
he's with me.
raccoons eat owls?
Do they?
So Roykin, what about you?
What about me?
You willing to keep the secret?
I don't know. It depends what it's about.
Then out of the bubble.
Can't send me out of the bubble.
You can't hear it then. You can't promise. What did Roy already tell you?
I don't know. I think it's kind of fucked up that you would tell Roy a secret before you tell any of us, but
Roy already knew it.
but
Did
that
he
you're
not
short.
tell you? He didn't tell you, did he?
He probably told me. I just don't remember it.
Oh my god, you're a polymorph Tarrasque.
Perfect. Secret all along.
You're really taller than 3 feet.
I'm waiting on you, Roykin.
I mean, come on. How are you gonna trust Alabaster, not me? I've saved your life so many times.
Is that a yes?
I mean, sure. I don't want to leave the room. I will check the balcony real quick though.
Right.
You look out the balcony. It's clear night air.
Yes, I'll tell everybody else.
You hear some calling back and forth coming from over one direction. You see a guard step out into the streets down a couple blocks, and he empties his stomach into the middle of the street.
Cool. Drunk.
Like it's the actual stomach, where he just throwing up.
He's
He stumble.
Cause there,
I mean, Riken's the one that sees him, but he stumbles out from the side, from out of sight into sight, and then bends over and retches into the street.
nothing to report here.
Stands up, wipes his mouth with the back of his gauntlet, and then leans against a wall.
Gross. Alright, so what's your big secret?
While Roykin was out doing that, I'm going to let everybody know the secret. And Roykin doesn't get to know. So I'm going to tell them, this is Luma. She's not really an owl at all. She's been in this form part of the time with us. She was actually Talisman Necklace at first. That's not what she is either. She's a shapeshifter. And there are very few people in the world even know her. And that is what I am chasing down that Morn had taken all of her family. and they were my responsibility to protect. When Reckon comes in, I'll stop talking.
I was like looking out the door for like a second. Unless you were speaking like the Valley Girl.
You didn't hear a thing.
I came right back in that shapeshifter. What I don't get is why something so rare would be with you. It just makes no sense.
Who said anything about shape-shifting with me? I'll look at everybody else and just shrug.
I've been in a relationship before. I know what the cold shoulder is.
Over as a Trask.
The
Sorry,
the
I can't keep a
owl
secret.
Oh,
the owl on your shoulder turns into a small bat.
well, now you just spilled the beans. Why are you doing that?
Squeaks at you.
The owl is also a Trask. I can't keep these secrets.
I'm gonna have to kill you, Ezra. Don't make me have to kill you.
One clay golem, that's all it takes.
Look, this secret is one that's very dangerous. In fact, Alabaster and I, when we went to the ship, spoke to the captain first. He knew what it was and connected the dots between Alabaster and Brenda. And so he remembers there being cargo. I believe it was 5 boxes, one of which a mage took here in town. So I believe that there's some that are here. Could be his. And I aim to get them back. The reason why I left, if I'm being honest, I didn't just leave. I was banished because of my mistake. I've been searching for them ever since.
So you are a huge fuck up.
More than you are.
I've never messed
Yes.
up in my life.
I mean, you can tell that to your family. Oh,
The bat squeaks at Riken and then becomes a tarantula.
But that's why I love you, Luma.
Chitter. I don't know what noise a spider might make. Probably none.
Scratching noise on any surface is a tarantula. The other thing is, she's telepathic as well, like me. And seems that Roy could see her disguise all along and knew who she was and what she was.
I mean, that's why he told me a long time ago.
Right, I'm sure he did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure if I asked him, he'd say you did hear it from him. I'm sure of it.
It's like racking my brain to see if Roy actually told me or not.
I mean, all the conversations I had with Roy when he went to bed, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have told you.
And the spider becomes an amulet again.
I'll put it around my neck.
There we go. Now what are you guys going to do next?
Hold on.
Oh, he's not done.
I'm not done because there's more. There's one last thing. I think I know who's here and might be responsible for some of these murders, maybe. And probably isn't a good thing. And on top of that, Luma can sense things. That's why I asked to have the dome put up, is because she could sense that there was a somewhat familiar presence from home. Could be her. Her name's, well, we call her Banty. Auntie Whalum, and she's not a very nice person. Even back then, she had a couple of blokes that ran around with her, more like lackeys than anything else, but they might be here, and I don't know why, and it's a huge if they're here, and the other changelings are here too.
She's your aunt?
Nope.
Well, you just said she was your aunt, not your aunt.
No, Banty. The B.
Oh, I thought you said auntie.
Oh no, not family at all.
You sure?
She'd be of the worst kind if she was. A lot of danger here.
I mean, so why are we staying?
Because of Luma's family.
I mean, oh, the ones in the box? I mean, can't they just turn into something bigger and break the box?
They're not that strong. They're just tiny. She can only turn into things that are about her size.
Oh,
That's why she's only into, turning into tiny type of things, and she's not, she's kind of, I don't know, I think she's like related to mimics. So my people have called them simics. That's what we call them anyway. But they never get much bigger than this. A little bit. She's still, what we might call an adolescent. And honestly, she was just a little babe when I got her. She almost died. And if we didn't save her, to be honest, that in itself is the story. If I hadn't saved her, she would have been dead. She's literally only about just a little over 2 years old.
let me get this straight. We're currently under investigation for crimes here in this city. You went and met up with somebody who is also under investigation for crimes in this city. And then you want us to do what with these mages? Who probably are highly influential in this city?
I'm looking for one particular mage.
Well, it seems like we're gonna burn all our bridges here, so fuck it. This city's already shit, so
As far as I am concerned, this city can burn. It's worth. And it'll do it on its own, but I have no love for it at all. I didn't even want to come here, but everything led me to this place, and I had to come. I had to be here.
I'm good with that. I got the info I needed. And I have really no love for this town.
I mean, for the town not to burn, like if we could just leave.
oh
And
yeah,
not-
just burn down mansions and not
Yeah,
towns.
Really?
First off,
That's odd to, that's
Okay.
odd to hear you say, Ezra.
I burned
I
down.
thought you liked
one
burning
thing.
things down.
I burned down one thing,
I mean, this
and
would
it was
be
a
the
team
thing to-
effort.
this would be the thing to burn down, though. I mean, out in the fields we do, controlled fires. Like this place is a shithole. So
Yeah, tavern's nice.
Tavern's nice,
really,
Boulevard was pretty cool.
he was really really sad person.
I mean,
but we should talk to him again.
Yeah, like we should probably check in on him, make sure he's
Yeah.
doing all right.
he's probably
Okay.
on some lonely road. It's the only one he's ever known.
Oh, God.
He
So
always walks
poetic.
alone too. I've never seen him with anyone except for us. Always walking alone.
We should have him join the party. He can get his own room.
That'd be hilarious. It would be hilarious.
We can all wear black, then we can be the Black Parade.
Different band, but I'll take it.
All right.
No matter what, we're still here until the morning. There's really not much option for us to get out, and Captain Blackjack is stuck where he's at the moment too. Oh, and by the way, there might be cannons, magic cannons that might shoot at him if we did have to go through him. It looks like we're gonna have to probably, except for us having to leave.
You could have just flown us over the wall, but you went to talk to a fugitive.
Fugitive, Captain. You didn't do anything wrong.
To be decided.
He's got a shipmate there that you should meet.
Yeah, he was taller than you.
Yep. Name's Rigger Rex.
Didn't we already meet him?
You didn't meet him,
They saw him.
did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could have sworn we already met up with Blackjack.
You saw him,
Went to
but
the-
didn't learn his name. So.
I
Well,
wanted to wrestle him, but I
Alabaster and
thought
I
it'd be
saw him because
inappropriate.
we were the only two there. Everybody else was creating that train wreck in the inn.
I mean, the people that went there saw him. I should be specific. Not obviously, if you weren't there, you couldn't have seen him. So, anyways, moving on.
So, Captain Blackjack gave us a book here that talks about red mages and said that they are really nasty business. This is who's here. And figured we might learn a thing or two about them. So I intend to read it. Anybody else that wants to read it, I'm happy to share. Or I'll even read it to you since I know you can't write.
Oh, I'll consider it.
You know, I probably had a better education than you. Actually,
Really?
I'm positive
Sure?
just by looking at the way you dress. You have never been to school.
Are you sure about that? I would think that somebody that is well educated would have a more common sense.
Dude, I would do.
But hey, that's all right. That's all right. Everybody is special.
You look
You're
like you
your
shop
own
at the
kind
copper
of
store.
special.
All right.
Ah, okay. So in the chat, then put in Bay, where it's located. Ish. So Ben, when we settle down a bit, I'm going to start reading. Find that spot in the middle of the book.
Okay.
Talking about the Bay.
All right. Are you guys just gonna rest for the night? Move on. This night took way longer than I thought it would.
Yeah.
But you know,
Next position dump. So
things happen. Move forward the best we can. All right. So, are you gonna stay inside the bubble, or are you gonna just sleep in your beds?
It's safer to stay in the bubble if
I mean-
everyone's okay with it.
can't we just? Did we not just put the bubble over the beds? We can do both.
Well, sort of. Over the bed in this room, yes. And then all of you could dogpile in the same bed, I guess.
Over on top.
Anyways, let's just not worry about it too much. You sleep for the night, get up the next morning. Get it moving forward here.
All right. They say when they're coming back for us.
Who?
Oh no, they just said we can't leave at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's just wander around town. We only saw a part of it.
All right. When you get up, go downstairs.
It's still just the one woman there.
No, in the morning, there's actually quite a few patrons in here. You see Bolivar is actually sitting at a table. Looks like he's got some breakfast and some kind of a steaming beverage. It's cold outside, so you can see the waitress from last night is still working. She's over here at the edge of the bar that you saw last night, Ezra. The barkeep behind the bar. Different patrons sitting here and there. You do notice that there's somebody up on stage playing a kind of a really fancy looking lute and singing a little off key. Not the best artist in the world.
I'm gonna walk over and sit down. Hold on.
He looks up as you come over and he's like, fine, sit. What does it matter?
What's going on here? What's happening here?
People are eating, people are drinking, people are
being
singing
kept
badly.
ill. What's going on? We already know that you're aware of it.
What are the rest of you guys doing?
Is the sun up or is it
Yeah, it's dawn.
just
Unless you want to sleep in.
Yeah.
Be whatever time you guys got up. When did you get up?
nah, no, it doesn't really matter. Just morningish.
Yeah, morning-ish. That's what I was figuring too, just making sure. Okay, so anyways, Ulver goes over to Boulevard's table and sits down and starts talking to him. What are the rest of you guys gonna do?
Yeah, I guess I'll join them. Have some breakfast before we wander out.
Okay.
Same.
And Bolivar was captain of the guard, right?
He is a captain, yes.
Morning, Bolivar.
Oh, Riken's going over there. Oh, good morning, I suppose.
Say, as the captain of the guard, do you happen to know how long they're planning on keeping us here?
No, I'm kind of on the outs right now.
Hang in there, buddy.
Yeah, you know, they could just execute me, I suppose. It could be worse.
What's going on?
Well, I'm being blamed for letting you all loose in the city, so, you know, that's great.
Loose in the city.
Yeah, remember I let you in.
Well, I mean, sure.
Yeah, but
but
we haven't done anything.
why would that be a problem?
Well, they think you had something to do with all this, so...
The things that were happening before we got here, that
That
stuff.
makes a lot of sense to me.
Listen, when you've been here as long as I have been, you start to understand that they just make stuff up as they go and then match it to the details afterwards.
Hmm.
I
Well,
want to go help in the kitchen, by the way.
Something
Stuck
happens,
here, might as well cook.
they blame people, and they, create these, widespread rules to change things right away without thinking about them. You're going to the kitchen?
Yep.
Well, the barkeep, or the person behind the bar here,
I'm gonna call him over and ask first. When just walk over.
yeah. As you start to walk back there, the young woman here actually turns to you and says, "Oh, can I help you, sir? She looks really tired.
Yeah, I'm just stuck here for the city for God knows how long, so I just wanted to help out in the kitchen if that's alright.
Are you a cook?
Yeah, you don't gotta pay me either, I'm just bored.
Well, sure. That's okay with me, but you better ask, I forgot his name. Let me look. You better ask Bonds over there.
Barnes? Alright. Hey, Barnes! I'm just walk over nice and friendly, like,
Yeah, what is it?
hey, I'm gonna help out in the kitchens today, you ain't gotta pay me. I already got permission from the nice pretty lady there, but she wanted me to double check with you.
Oh, that's fine with me. Actually, you probably better talk with my partner over there in the chair. He indicates a well-dressed man sitting in a chair.
Alright, I'll be right over there.
He's the actual owner of the establishment, and I don't know. I mean, whether or not he wants some stranger in the kitchen making food. So talk to him.
Well, what if I made him a plate of food real quick? Do you think that would convince him faster?
I think you probably better ask him first.
Alright, we'll do. Guessing it's this fellow?
Yep. You guys see Riken walk over to the barkeep behind the counter and then walk over to the center of the room. Anybody doing anything during this exchange?
Food, but
Eating food and trying to cheer up depressed Bolivar. All right, so and the waitress will come over during this too, but we'll get to that in a second. First, we'll do Riken, and you see the minstrel up on the stage seems to be getting close to done with the song. Finishes it during this conversation. The man in the chair is opulently dressed. Has an eye patch and has a sword. Sure, like the picture there, kind of. Good reference.
I'll step more on to the side where his good eyes at.
And no, unfortunately, Ezra, that is not it.
Bullshit. It's bullshit. He is a well-dressed man with a sword. It is ZZ Top, Sharp Man Dressed Man.
It's obviously Orin from Final
got
Fantasy.
no
II.
beard, so I don't see how that.
The drummer's last name is Beard,
Gosh.
and he doesn't even have a beard.
So the well-dressed man turns to you. You can see as you approach, he's frowning at the person playing on the stage. And he turns and looks at you as you approach and shakes his head at the man and motions him away. And the man stops playing and begins to move off stage. He turns to you as you approach, doesn't get up, says, yes, what can I do for you?
Good afternoon, sir. I've been told by your employees that you're the fine owner of this establishment.
Well, not just the owner of the establishment. I am also a noble of the city.
Oh, excellent.
I'm actually something of a partner with Bonds over there.
Oh, really?
Got it.
Okay. Barnes and Noble.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Who said Barnes and Noble? Who did it?
I've just been shouting shit off. Like,
Right.
reference after reference after reference.
you guys are just gonna keep like everything at me now. Yep, that's an actual reference though, Barnes and Noble. There you go.
You said yes, I made a reference.
Different kind of noble, but whatever. Just fun. Just for fun. Anyways. What can I do for you?
I ended up just kind of stranded here in the city, and I figured instead of just wasting time, I'd help out in your kitchen if that's all right with you.
It's fine with me if it's fine with Barnes. Are you any good at cooking?
Oh yeah, I'm a pretty good cook.
Oh, very nice. Well, why don't you make me something first, and then if it's good, you know, we will we'll actually hire you and pay you for your services. Does that sound okay?
Yeah. Let's see. Red wine. You're obviously a red meat kind of person. I got this.
That minstrel really isn't very good.
No, he's not. There's actually a group over there that I heard playing in the streets earlier. They're a band of performers. They're pretty good. If you want to reach out to them.
I just don't know what to tell Gina. She insisted on letting her husband play.
Oh, it's a friend. That makes sense. Well, good luck, sir. Hopefully, you don't drive too many people away, but I'm pretty sure my cooking will make up for it.
He waves you away. All right, so while he's doing that, the waitress walks up to the table and asks you guys what you want. This is the same one that you saw in the middle of the night. She's here this morning.
Hey, feeling better?
She still looks sad and she looks tired. I'm fine, master. What can I do for you?
Yeah, don't like you calling me that. Uh, we've already had food delivered to us, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, no, that was last night.
Oh, yeah, all right. Various breakfast foods then.
So she'll take your guys' orders. And if it's anything really crazy, then, uh, probably cost you a few silvers each. I'll let you guys determine what to subtract if you want to tip her or anything like that. While she's taking your order, that's when the noble in the chair waves the man off of the stage, and she frowns and looks over, and she goes, "Oh no, Tommy was hoping so much that it would work out."
You need someone to get Eldritch Blasted?
I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds like a bad idea.
It has literally fixed every one of my problems.
Well, I don't think I should bother you with my problems.
Alright.
And
Still
she'll.
do we can help with. Let us know.
It's fine. It's something for me and my husband to deal with. They closed the docks, and he can't work there right now, so he's been trying to do other things.
Why would they close the docks? It seems like a major income for the town.
I just read your comments. uh, yeah, I did do that one, but obviously I'm not going to recognize it.
Yeah, I figured.
um,
So I didn't say that one out loud.
yeah, no, yeah, don't do that. Cool, funny. Sorry. What would you say to her? Sorry.
Oh, I was wondering why they would close the docks. It seems like a major income for the town. It's a port city.
Well, apparently there's some individual out there that they've got, you know, I don't know, they're keeping some captain or other that's suspected of being involved in all of this, and with the murder recently on the actual docks themselves, they decided to close I'm not doing a high pitched voice, am I? Oh well. Anyways,
Very husky voice.
yeah. They decided to close the docks, and Tommy was laid off.
Hmm. I don't think these guys are very good at running a town.
You guys want a new town?
Well, is there anything else we need to do here other than just is the only thing keeping us here them?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Does anyone else have anything else they need to do, or have we already talked to everybody?
All have things to do that. Even if you all leave, I'm still gonna stay for that. At least to
Yeah.
find out.
Anyways, as you all are doing this, the musician goes over and sits at a bench, kind of fingering his actually very fancy looking instrument. You can see that it has gold trim. It's probably worth a decent amount of money. And then believe it or not, a dog walks up onto the stage next. And Gina goes to get your food. You hear the noble in his chair say, "Well, this ought to be good."
Gotta make food for the noble first, though.
Oh yeah.
Or
Have-
for the
Do
companion.
your entire cooking mini game.
The rest of you just sitting around with Bolivar, unless you got more to talk about.
Listening to music.
I want to listen.
The dog sits down and opens its mouth and begins to sing.
I'm missing a dog singing. This is so depressing.
He's actually quite good and sings in common. And does a pretty lively little song, and then gets up, wags his tail, and goes over and lays down on the carpet here.
Snoop
Yeah.
Dogg. Got the reference.
Nope.
I'm gonna lean over and it's like, we should steal that dog.
I mean, make a lot of money off of that.
I think it'd just be a fun.
It's wrong.
addition
It's
to
wrong.
the-
It's wrong. We
Oh.
shouldn't say that. We'd make a lot of money off of that.
Another musician gets up after this and begins playing another lute, but a more plainly dressed one. Sings better and plays better than poor Tommy, but that's what happens next. Looks like, I'm not sure if you guys caught the gist, but it seems like the noble is like interviewing musicians, essentially.
Oh my god, who all has instruments?
I do, but I don't think I want to play it here.
It'd be funny.
I mean, you guys should all have instruments, right? Everyone gets one.
I don't have an instrument.
All
Did you
right.
pick one at the beginning?
I can sing.
So Gina comes back in the kitchen to you, and there's another cook back here too, cooking, who greets you, Riken, and points out the different locations of things so that you can find what you need to cook. Gina comes back and helps prepare and collect things to bring out to your companions for breakfast. you notice that she seems on the verge of tears again.
I mean, I didn't notice the first time. I still don't care.
Okay, just throwing it out there.
Man, Viking's an asshole.
So, you guys gonna do
I-
anything else?
I'm gonna do something. I am going to, just for the surface thoughts, cast detect thoughts using the medallion of thoughts
On.
on Gina.
Well, you can't see her currently. You're gonna wait till she comes back
Oh,
out.
when she comes back, yeah. When she comes back, yeah.
Okay. So time passes. She comes back outside unless somebody else wants to do something. Comes out and brings you guys your food.
And I'm casting it.
Okay. Let's see. What does that do again?
Here, let me set it.
I just want to accurately.
So, oh yeah, detect thought spell. Pull that up.
Yeah.
I don't have any. Actually, have that.
Okay, so you can learn its surface thoughts. What is most on its mind at the moment? All right, so what is most on her mind is that she doesn't know how they're going to pay the rent. She is extremely worried about this.
Okay. When she leaves, I'll let everybody else. Where am I?
Okay, she hands over your guys' food and then heads back to the kitchen, probably because she has to make more than one trip.
Not that I was there for it, but is this the same waitress that Eidolon was gonna hand that opal to?
Yeah.
This could be our episode of Bar Rescue.
That is awesome. Oh, so Riken and Ezra broke our heart.
Anyways. And then a little bit later, she comes back, unless you're going to discuss things with the rest of your food, and then continues over to take care of some other patrons.
So, if we wanted to help, we could either say give a man a fish and give her just money, or teach a man to fish and try to get the docks open back up.
I mean, what's it gonna take to get the dogs back up? We have that kind of time.
I mean,
Maybe if
We
we can
did-
find the killer.
or we just get on Blackjack's boat and get the fuck out of here. There's
I
no
thought
reason to
there
keep
was-
it closed if we're all gone.
Aren't they gonna shoot at him if he tries to leave? With cannons.
Might. Has never seen them before, but magic cannons, magic tower, mages
Well,
all
if they
over the
have
place.
cannons, we can report them to those gnomes that use black powder, or make sure that no one else can. And they'll come after them.
I mean, it said it was magic cannons, so I don't know if he uses it.
Oh, fair enough.
At the very least, when you were out there, you would have seen ballistae and catapults out there, for sure.
Not even a trebuchet, worthless. Oh, we can put a pin in that, and let's go talk to these mages for over.
Well, I mean, we'll be talking to the mages for all of us. Anyway. So they're trying to
No, on
whatever
second
they're
thought,
doing to us.
how about I hang out with Riken and he does, and make sure he doesn't go.
Bolivar pipes up too, since you're discussing this around him. He says, "Oh, I wouldn't go seeking the mages out. That probably won't end well. If they want to talk to you, they'll send for you." It's this blasted business with this killer at night. Really, it's got everybody on edge.
They could form hunting parties, so we can go kill the killer.
Bar rescue montage. Ido, start playing music. You guys can start, being servers, performing out the doors, being a doorman. We got this.
Oh, we live here now. This is our
Bar
life.
Dude, bar rescue. Let's go. Episode 1.
We can buy the bar.
We could buy the bar. I'd be down with that. We could be. We'll call it like our business will be John Taffer Incorporated.
I just want to see Riken come out and be like, "Shut it down.
This
Look at
is
these.
disgusting.
You're gonna serve customers this?
I
Shut
found
it
3
down.
rats in the cooking pot. You're gonna throw that?
You're not even gonna cook them? Jeez."
I'm thinking the Emperor's New Groove, Kronk in the
As it
kitchen.
will. That's exactly what my was. Well, that and I have cooking as a stat, so I want to have like a reason for it to be able to go up.
Oh, I got you.
Remember, you gave me a cooking stat.
Yeah, that's true.
Oof.
Ooh,
+1.
not
Ouch.
so good.
You didn't ask me to roll. That was just me doing nothing.
Yeah, it's a good thing, right? Now I'm gonna have you roll for real now to see how well you cook this meal for this guy.
Well, for the noble,
Yeah.
all right. Is the other chef helping me?
No.
He's not a sous chef. He's not prepping the ingredients. for me?
No.
What's he doing? What's he even doing in here? Jesus Christ.
He's making food for all the other customers that are coming and going.
Okay.
In-
Itadakimasu.
including your group. So,
Better than
know,
average.
a little better than average, yep.
I'm real worried.
Could be
I want to
worse.
keep working.
I mean, if you don't like it, you can throw it away and try again.
This is a water deep specialty, but we're missing some of the local herbs and spices. But I hope it works well with your palate.
The cook is like, it looks like bacon and eggs.
But I put thinly sliced cabbage in the eggs. All right.
Well, that was probably a horrible idea. Anyways, you can either serve that or go back to the drawing board.
I'll serve it. I don't give a shit. Yeah.
Okay. Bring it out.
And to be fair, I'm gonna make it like okonomiyaki. So it's like I would do the meats first, and then like blend up the eggs and the cabbage together, and then like throw it over the meat.
Okay.
So it's like a egg and cabbage pancake with bacon on top. If you flip it over.
All right.
I'll whisk up some mayo with some eggs while I'm at it. Bam. If he likes it.
All right. When you come out, there's a man that comes out with a wolf onto the stage, and the wolf has something strapped to each one of its feet, and as it crosses the floorboard, you hear a clicking tap, and the musician has an accordion-like instrument. It begins to play a tune, and the wolf begins purposefully walking in place in a rhythm, making a tapping noise that continues or works with the music to create an interesting medley of sounds. The noble seems to frown at first, and then seems to start nodding his head along with the rhythm after a while.
I don't know what a
Fables.
tap dancing wolf is.
So then the musician starts to sing a little song with it too. You guys know this is a reference, huh? Imagine that. Let's see, where is it?
Did not.
I lost
What
it.
what does the singer look like?
He's a younger guy that is wearing kind of a colorful outfit,
I
and
think I know what this.
he he looks pretty normal. He's got a bit of a beard with fine lines. No. And then where did I put this? I can't find it. I was pretty sure I threw it in here. Nope, I didn't. Huh. That's a good thing I haven't memorized. Okay. Where to go? Where to go? Where to go? Where to go? There it is. It begins to sing. The bard stops playing his accordion, and the wolf steps up his game and performs an intricate stepping musical. And it's something that you can't perform, as a human because we only have 2 feet. And he says, starts singing, when you're out on the highway, you're looking for adventure, and you see them racing like the wind. These true nature's children, they were born to be wild.
Ooh.
Way to make it obvious, Ben.
I know. I don't have a reward for that one. It's just
I wouldn't even take
blatant.
credit for it. I
I typed it out
refuse to
and I
answer.
was like, nope, not even sending it. It's not even
That one was too blatant to give a reward for, but it's still fun. Anyways, all these bards, oh my gosh, because they're so the music groups is just like too easy to use bards. All right, so anyways, and he does his little number, and you bring out your food, Riken, right? And then are you going back to the kitchen afterwards, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep cooking. I mean, I'm basically until these guys decide to give up. Like, I
Okay.
plan to do a cooking montage until the guards say we can leave.
What are the rest of you guys gonna do?
I'm just waiting for Oliver to go do his thing.
Well, no, we're going to do that when we go to the tower because that's where it's all happening.
Yeah,
Bolivar seems to be losing himself in his drinks. He doesn't seem to be going anywhere. So he's getting a little bit tipsy now, but yeah.
I'm gonna start making like cinnamon rolls, but with the underspice that I got.
Okay. That'll be interesting.
I just got time. Yeah, I'm just gonna experiment.
Okay. What are the rest of you guys gonna do?
Ido, let's go on stage.
Do it. Do it.
Want me to play my flute?
Play the flute and I'll sing.
Okay.
I want to hear you sing.
You're gonna get a roll.
I knew that. I mean, I knew that. Still, be funny, to us. All right, so
I'm not Sam Riegel.
neither am I. All right, so you guys gonna go up on stage? All right.
Yeah.
Make performance rolls. Oh, yeah, that's about what I expected. Ooh,
Oof.
stage fright! Stage
What's your
fright!
portrait? Wait. What's your portrait for today?
Oh yeah, I don't think he's rolled them yet.
Why would
I
he want to
did.
help you?
You rolled them?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
you
one
did.
was a 2 and one was like
3 and a 14 looks like.
Isn't
I
like
already
a
rolled.
natural one like peeing your pants on stage? That's about
A,
right.
dude, you should just let him fail.
Yeah,
Although-
no, he already rolled, so he's stuck with it anyways.
Although
but-
Ido, you made me look awesome. So
Yeah, see?
oh yeah, it's terrible. Like it is not very long at all before the noble waves you off the stage. All right, that's enough. I'm good.
It's cursed.
And I quote, I can sing.
And you notice some of the patrons are covering their ears.
I'm gonna dedicate that song to Bolivar, and then we'll go back.
Oh God. Fortunately, he's tipsy enough he doesn't notice.
Volva. What can we do? What can help?
Well, I suppose, I suppose, if you, just could solve all of my problems, that'd be great.
I mean, what do you think is going to solve it at this point? This town seems a little off kilter.
Well, there's obviously a murderer loose, right? Just murdering mostly women and spreading their body parts all over the place when he does so. There's a couple of patrons nearby that blanch, at that statement.
Don't
A
suppose there,
couple of them move away from the table.
don't suppose there's any pattern to where he hits.
I'll tell you what I know, okay? All I know is he seems... Well, I say he. I don't actually know if it's a he or a she. It's... The only sightings have been you've seen the posters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not even actually,
Wait. So is this Jack or is this the woman?
well, there's posters up of a couple of different, artworks, but some of them call him Jack. I don't know. It's just a name that they came up with. As far as I know, there's no real relation to the name. I mean, unless the common folk know more than the guard, that seems unlikely. Anyways, what we've found is women, mostly. Some men, generally speaking, find them gutted, eviscerated, I believe is the term. Yes?
Anything missing from them?
Oh, we've had an examiner look at a few of them and have said that that's hard to tell whether or not there's anything missing or not. It's pretty messy. but we do know that the women that have been most recently been killed, which seems to be the going the current run of murders, have all been women, anyways. But
So,
for some reason, they have burns on their face, disfiguring their faces very badly, so they're hard to recognize. And the bodies are eviscerated, and the last 4 or 5 have all been women out alone at night. If you catch my drift.
no one's going to come out and say that they're missing.
No, they're usually, poor women of the night,
Named Roxanne.
I don't know their names. Actually, like I said, they've been disfigured and hard to recognize.
Reference.
By the red light.
Not everything has to be a reference.
Except that one is. If Ben will look at his DMs.
Yes. Yep.
I'm right.
That's one.
Right on.
What was it?
His name's Jack. He kills prostitutes. It's Jack the Ripper.
Oh,
Yeah, we knew that since the fucking boat.
Yeah, I thought that was too easy, so I never actually did it.
I know,
Yeah,
that's what I thought too.
Yeah,
I was
And
like, no.
I was gonna
No.
say, you guys, I hinted at that last session, so.
I mean, I thought it was just a,
No, real
At least
references.
somebody got it. So,
So
somebody got my
does
vote
Ezra
for it.
get like a +2 against prostitutes now, or?
I sent him his reward. Man, why does it do that? That's really annoying. Well, if you click on it, you can read it.
Higher charisma when talking to prostitutes.
all right. It's actually isn't a terrible boon.
Oh yeah, don't expect any of these to be uber powerful. Although used in the right situation, some of them could be really useful. And I won't tell the other players what you get for the simple reason that some of them are really contingent on you doing specific things, and if other people knew about it, they could, influence that.
The first one I have is amazing, and I'm gonna be cooking in this kitchen.
All right.
How was cinnamon rolls looking?
Pretty good. A whole lot better than your bacon and eggs went.
All right, I'll bring one out for the noble and the rest of the group.
All right. Anyways,
I got a bunch.
okay. Bolivar actually also tells you that the figure has been seen a couple times, which is, but the stories they get are really fractured. Tall, apparently covered in fur, horns, blazing red eye, breathes flames, has some kind of metallic hands or claws, and a couple of different instances of the creature being able to leap long distances very quickly, and in one case in particular, a bystander came along during the evisceration and surprised the creature, and instead of killing the individual, the creature was said to have jumped up over a roof of a nearby building. but they haven't been able to catch it. None of the guards have seen it. So they're kind of stumped.
All right.
When I bring out the cinnamon rolls, I'm gonna go, what are you guys still doing here? I thought you guys had shit to do.
I want to see you fail.
Never gonna happen.
I mean, we saw your eggs.
Yeah.
They're great. I got a 12. They're above average. Way better than your mom makes.
Oh, I don't have a mom.
No, then definitely way better than what your mom makes.
That is true. Banish.
At this point, two blonde women come into the tavern, and you notice them because one of them is wearing a wedding dress.
This early?
Yep. And her and her compatriot walk over to the bar, which is nearby you guys there, behind you there, behind the alabaster. Anyways, the rest of you kind of facing that direction actually. Here, let me move a couple people so it makes more sense. And they both plop down on the stools there and order drinks. The one in the wedding dress pulls out a purse full of coins, dumps some on the table, and said, "Round of drinks for everybody."
Ooh. I'll take that up. Any cinnamon rolls?
You got any plain water?
They begin to talk about the women that have been killed in town. Talking about a couple of deaths that happened last night and how they knew one of them.
Wander over to him. Hello, ladies.
The one that's not in the wedding dress looks over at you. The one that is in the wedding dress immediately sticks her face in her drink, like she's purposefully ignoring you.
I overheard you talking, and we're kind of looking for the killer. Anything you'd say about where or when, how this happened? Any information will help.
Well, I heard that Cindy was killed last night by the creature. So why don't you go out and find them and stop this from happening?
We're trying to. We need information, which is why I came to you about asking where this happened.
It
And when.
happened. It happened 2 streets down from this very tavern.
And at what time?
I don't know that actually.
Suspicious.
Well, I wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna wander back to the table. Guys, I think I found the killer.
Right, kid. Oh gosh.
Hello, ladies. Tell me more about your dead friend, please.
Ezra has a high charisma for spellcasting. It doesn't exactly translate to social skills.
And this is where art imitates real life.
Yep.
Man.
They continue, or as you're talking, the one in the dress turns to you and says, "Well, I hope you find them, and make them pay. Cindy was a good friend of mine. The way things are going right now, I've got a real good feeling something bad's gonna happen.
Oh,
And she turns around and sticks her face back in her drink.
All right, new plan. Can anyone disguise themselves as someone else?
I think Alabaster might be able to.
You would think so, because he's shifting.
Okay,
back, but
he's not here to say no. We're gonna dress Alabaster up as a woman.
If you want credit for Ulver, you're gonna have to call it out so everybody knows.
okay. Miranda Lambert duet with Carrie Underwood, something bad.
Yep. So did I.
Country.
It's
all country.
It's country. Oh yeah. Good job. Country reference. Somebody could get it. That's amazing. I think Ulver's the only one that has any chance of getting those, isn't he?
I'm not really even a country fan necessarily, but
How do you get them then?
I recognize them. I listen to everything.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, so new plan. We dress up or have Alabaster transform. It's basically a female version of himself. Walk the nights. Worst case scenario, he dies. But we can maybe lure this one out. Set up an ambush. Hi, Alabaster. How does that sound to you? Oh, that sounds great, Ezra.
how about Albanese?
Oh, I just got your picture for Alabaster. Final Fantasy reference. It's so good.
I actually think that's a legit good idea. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Sorry. I'll mute myself.
Oh, it's happening. We're doing it.
All right, cool. It's happening.
Yep.
That's the plan.
Group vote.
All right. So, I mean, Alabaster will obviously get a say in this because this is a good time
This
to
is why you
quit.
don't take a week off, everyone.
He'll come back to you guys dressing him up. This will be fun. I thought we'd get a little further.
Oh my god.
And sorry.
No, I have a plan. I was just gonna wave the waitress over again.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna hand her 100 gold.
Really?
You're gonna ask for
Yep,
you're
and
gonna
we're
ask
gonna
for
say,
underwear.
we
Real
need-
nice, dude.
All right, we're gonna see this guy over here. We're gonna try to disguise him as a woman to lure out this killer. Here's 100 gold. Can we borrow some clothes?
Sure. With this, I could get you new clothes if you want.
Oh,
Sure, I
jeez.
guess. You just keep whatever is left over.
He doesn't want to go shopping.
Really? Thank you. I'll have to see if I can get some time off to go do that. I've been working double shifts.
You got another dude working in the kitchens. Don't worry about it.
Okay, if you'll fill in for me, will you ask him for me?
Sure. Riken, keep cooking.
Well,
Hey, there's a
he'll
door
have to
that
take care of delivering the food to the tables too.
Alabaster can do that in the meantime.
Alabaster can do. All right. And Alabaster agrees because he's not here.
Oh, and he gives me all his money for some reason.
All right. She does stop by over here where the musician was and talks excitedly, shows him money. He looks over at the party. Um,
Gonna
and
give him like a big cheesy thumbs up with a big smile.
she comes back and she goes, "Thank you so much. With what's left over from this, I'm sure my husband will not have to sell his six-string lute. Thank you." And she leaves.
Maybe you could buy him some lessons.
And he's probably a better dock worker. But
Anyways, he gets up and goes and helps deliver food because yeah, Alabaster not so good at it, probably, and not so
He's
willing.
very dexterous.
he can balance it.
All right. I think we'll go ahead and just end here with her off going and getting that, and you guys just kind of tooling around for the day. You'll have to get your plans in order to figure out what you're going to do tonight, and we'll go from there. Next session. Let me go ahead and turn the stream off, and we can have a quick discussion before I go.